So welcome to the world of looping. My name is JP. I run the YouTube channel called Jump On Music UK, and I've been looping for it's close to 20 years now. I started with the Akai Headrush E2 after seeing Katie Tunstall perform Black Horse and the Cherry Tree on Later with Jules Holland way back. And that was when I was just playing open mic nights and local gigs, and I just needed something a little bit more. That one performance took me down a rabbit hole to the point where I am now using looping. The YouTube channel is mainly about looping, and I've been lucky enough to work with a couple of different companies like Boss, Sheeran Loopers, Headrush, Valaton, Donna, and many more people who make loop pedals. And we've done reviews on the channel, but we all have to start from somewhere. So I hope you find this presentation insightful, and I've got a little something for you at the end. Welcome to the world of looping. Your journey to powerful layered performances starts here. Looping Pedal Journey for Beginners by JP from Jump On Music UK. Imagine stepping on stage alone, but sounding like a full band. That's the promise of looping. Whether you're a guitarist, a vocalist, or electronic artist, loop pedals and software are transforming the way musicians perform and create. This journey will introduce you to the foundational tools and concepts of looping so you can layer rhythms, melodies, and textures in real time. We're about to explore how these tools can redefine your practice sessions, enhance your songwriting process, and electrify your live performances. You don't need a band. You don't need to be a tech wizard either. All you need is the desire to sound bigger, better, and more engaging. This presentation will break it all down, from what gear to choose right through to how to avoid beginner mistakes. The current reality for most live setups where solo performers struggle today. Let's be honest, performing live as a solo musician is thrilling, but it's also limiting. You've likely felt the pressure, trying to maintain audience interest with just a voice and one instrument. There's only so much you can do with a single layer of sound. Without the ability to loop, ironically, performances can feel repetitive. Ever been to an open mic night where every song sounds the same? There's little room for dramatic build-ups or evolving textures, and the result? Songs do often sound the same from beginning to end, no matter how expressive you are. And juggling it all, singing, playing, engaging, leaves little mental space for any kind of creativity. Looping offers a path out of this trap by helping you build complex, engaging arrangements on the fly without losing your audience or losing your mind. The common struggles of solo performers, the mental and technical load of going it alone. Solo performers often wear all the hats: instrumentalist, vocalist, sound engineer, then the showrunner. In this juggling act, it's not only exhausting, but it affects consistency. How many times have you hit a wrong note adjusting your pedal board, or missed a vocal cue trying to tweak your amp? Without a system for real-time layering or automation, it's hard to maintain performance quality. You're stuck thinking about logistics instead of flowing with the music. Timing can slip, the energy can drop, and when the brain is overloaded, creativity becomes a casualty. Looping actually solves this by reducing the number of things you need to manage live. The loop can keep going while you adjust that amp. The loop can keep going while you adjust your pedal board. And it's giving you the freedom to focus on delivering a captivating show. What if you had a band at your feet? How looping transforms solo performances. Now, imagine this. You're on stage. With a few taps, your guitar riff repeats. Next, you layer in a bass line, then hand claps, then some harmonies, all perform live on the spot. That's looping, turning your solo act into a live band that you control at your feet or your hands. Looping gives you real-time power to add complexity and fullness to your sound. It's more than just repeating a phrase, it's constructing your arrangements dynamically. You become the composer, the performer, the producer, right there on stage. With every layer you add, the crowd hears your music grow. It's like magic, and it's entirely within reach. Let's keep going to see how this works. Meet the loop pedal, your new silent partner, the foundation of modern live looping. Let's introduce the core device that powers your new live setup, the loop pedal or the looper. It's a small, powerful tool that captures sound live and plays it back instantly and lets you build on top of it. Think of it as your onstage partner, one that never misses a beat. What makes a loop pedal powerful actually is its simplicity. You either tap it with your foot or tap it with your hand to start recording, then you tap again to play, and then you keep building layers with each tap. If you're using a pedal, no hands are needed, or using a tabletop looper or an app, you have tactile control. With a pedal, there's no computer screens, and for solo performers, a loop pedal is like a rhythm section, a harmony vocalist, and effects unit all rolled into one. It turns that one-man show into a full band experience, and it's easier than it looks. Looping defined more than just repetition, understanding the mechanics of sound cycling. Looping isn't just about repeating sound, it's about building. At its core, a loop is a piece of audio that you record and replay over and over in perfect time. But when you begin layering loops like drums, chords, melodies, harmonies, you actually unlock massive sonic potential. A loop acts like a musical canvas. You might start with a basic rhythm and then paint over it with harmonic textures and percussive hits. Everything builds in sync, creating a sense of evolution and tension within your music. Mastering looping is all about timing. It trains your internal clock and sharpens your performance skills. The beauty lies in the control. You decide when to add, take away, or shift the mood, all live and all looped. Hardware versus software looping. Choosing the right tool for your workflow. Looping can be done in two major ways, with hardware or with software. I'm also including apps in software here. Loop pedals are physical, often stomp box-sized tools designed for live performance. They're tactile, responsive, and meant to be operated with your feet so your hands can stay on your instrument. You then have tabletop loopers. Again, hardware, but using your hands, giving you physical, tactile response. Software looping, on the other hand, opens up a world of visual editing and multi-track precision. Tools like Ableton Live, MainStage on the computer, Quantaloop and Loopy Pro on a tablet let you record, layer, and tweak loops with incredible flexibility. But software looping may require a bit more setup and technical know-how. Choosing between them depends on your goals. If you want portability and a simple live rig, go hardware. If you want deep control for studio or hybrid sets, then software or apps might be your path. Or if you want to go super crazy, you could mix both. With software, you can still add hardware to it, like MIDI pedals and controllers for the best of both worlds. The world of looping is diverse, but most fall into three categories: single-track loopers, multi-track loopers, and loop stations. Single-track loopers are perfect for beginners. They record one loop at a time and are simple to use, great for building up confidence with basic songs. Multi-track loopers step things up a little. They let you record multiple independent loops, giving your performance much more complexity. Ideal for adding different instruments, harmonies, or percussive layers live. Loop stations are the powerhouses. They often feature memory banks, onboard effects, tools tailored for live performance, and of course, multiple tracks, or loops. While they require more learning, they're incredibly powerful for building professional looping rigs. Choosing your pedal depends on your musical ambitions and your setup. Looping isn't confined to pedals. Software solutions have revolutionized how musicians loop live and in the studio. Popular DAWs like Ableton Live, Logic Pro, and even GarageBand offer intuitive looping tools that integrate into your full production workflow. However, dedicated apps like Loopy Pro and Quantaloop can turn your smartphone or your tablet into a powerful, portable loop station. These tools are especially appealing for singer-songwriters and mobile performers looking for a minimal setup. Many pros also run hybrid rig hardware pedals for tactile control, combined with software for deeper editing and complex arrangements. The possibilities are vast. It's all about finding the right setup that matches your creativity and your performance needs. Looping isn't limited to one genre. It's a global tool for creativity. Singer-songwriters use loops to add percussion, harmonies, and instrumental layers, allowing their songs to evolve live without extra musicians. In electronic music, looping synths, beats, and samples enables quick-time track building and audience interaction. Artists like Ed Sheeran, Katie Tunstall, Reggie Watts, Dub Effects, Beardyman, Mark Rebillier, Tash Sultana have all shown how looping transforms solo performances into full stage spectacles. Even rock and indie artists use loops to layer guitar riffs, vocal harmonies, and ambient textures, enhancing both songwriting and live shows. So whether you play acoustic pop, experimental synth pop, or heavy rock, looping can amplify your sound. Songwriting, capturing ideas instantly. Great song ideas often strike when you least expect them, and looping lets you capture them instantly. Instead of scrambling for your phone or recording device, a loop pedal becomes your notepad, locking in riffs, chord progressions, or melodies with the tap of a foot. Looping also turns songwriting into a playground. Layering parts, experiment with harmonies, and test rhythmic ideas in real time. You can audition arrangement ideas on the spot, hearing how a verse builds into a chorus or how textures evolve. This process helps you refine songs before you even hit the studio. Looping keeps creativity flowing, it removes barriers to experimentation, and helps you sculpt songs with confidence. One musician and big sound using loops to transform your live shows. With looping, your solo performance becomes a sonic showcase. You start with a simple riff or beat, and with each layer added, the audience feels the energy grow. By the end, your sound rivals that of a full band, all built in real time before their eyes. Audiences love watching this unfold. There is just something captivating about seeing a song constructed loop by loop. It's a performance within the performance. Looping adds a visual element to your set that keeps the crowds engaged. Best of all, loops let you amplify your sound without needing any extra musicians, complex gear, or backing tracks. You control the layers, you control the dynamics, and you control the show, making your live set bigger, more exciting, and entirely unique. Practice. Build timing, rhythm, and confidence. How looping sharpens your musicianship. Looping is not just for performance. It's a powerful practice tool. Recording loops forces you to lock in your timing. You'll hear instantly if your timing's not right. It's not tight or if there's room for improvement. It's like having a brutally honest, always on coach. Looping also lets you listen back as you play, building awareness of how your parts are interacting. You can stack rhythms, melodies, and harmonies, hearing the song evolve layer by layer. It's actually a hands-on way to refine your musical ear. Best of all, practicing with your loops prepares you for the stage. It simulates the pressure and flow of a live performance, helping you build confidence so when you step up in front of that audience, your timing and your nerves stay rock solid. Improvisation. Unleash your creative flow, spontaneous song creation with loops. One of the most exciting aspects of looping people don't think of is actually the invitation to improvise. With a loop paddle or tabletop or looping app or software, you can create spontaneous musical ideas, layering rhythms, melodies, and harmonies without overthinking it. It's a playground for your creativity. There's no pressure. Looping gives you an instant safety net. If an idea works, build on it. If not, clear it and try again. If you're familiar with the channel, you would have seen me do this during the midweek live loop using the Boss RC505 Mark II, an app, a keyboard, and a microphone. And I've created 2 live albums called Looping My Brain, just like that. This freedom fosters fearless music exploration, both during practice and on stage. Looping transforms how you approach your instrument. It keeps your ideas flowing, and it encourages you to experiment with sound, textures, and grooves you might never have discovered otherwise. It's creativity, but amplified. Layering. Harmonies, rhythm, and effects. Building a full sound with creative stacking. I've said before, looping isn't just about repeating simple phrases. It's about constructing rich, layered soundscapes. By stacking harmonies, rhythms, and effects, you can build songs that feel full and evolving, even as a solo performer. Start with a rhythmic foundation, maybe a muted guitar part or a stomp. I do what I call rhythmic strumming, which is muting the guitar and creating a rhythm with it. Layer in the melodies or a bass line, then add vocal or instrumental harmonies to bring in another dimension. With every loop, your sound grows, building energy and complexity. Effects take things even further, adding reverb for space, delays for movement, or modulation for texture. Layer by layer, your song transforms into a dynamic performance that keeps listeners engaged from start to finish. Audience engagement with live loops. How looping connects performers to the crowd. Looping doesn't just enhance your sound, it transforms your connection with the audience. There's something mesmerizing about watching a loop being constructed loop by loop, right in front of your eyes. It turns your loop performance into a live composition that captivates listeners. Looping also invites participation. You can bring in call and response moments, crowd clapping, or even loop vocal samples from the audience. Suddenly, the room becomes part of your performance. Each layer builds anticipation. The beat starts, the bass drops in, the harmonies swell, the audience is hooked. Looping isn't just a technical trick, it's a way to create a shared, interactive musical experience. Live sound evolution with loops, taking your shows beyond the static setlist. Looping gives you the power to evolve your sound in real time. You're not locked into a rigid setlist or pre-recorded backing tracks. Instead, your songs can grow, shift, and transform based on the movement. Start simple, layer in parts as the energy builds, then strip it back for an intimate verse. You control the flow. Loops can also create seamless transitions between songs. No awkward gaps, just evolving landscapes that keep your audience engaged. Perhaps most importantly, loops let you react. Feel how the crowd is, maybe extend a section. If you're feeling inspired, add unexpected layers. Loops turn your set into a living, breathing performance that grows with you and your audience. Why looping can be intimidating, overcoming the initial learning curve. While looping is powerful, many beginners feel intimidated at first. Getting the timing right can be stressful. One poorly timed loop and your entire song feels off. This fear holds many musicians back from even trying. There's also the tech factor, the pedals, the cables, the software, the routing. It can all seem a bit overwhelming if you're new to it all. But with the right guidance, it becomes second nature. Finally, looping live adds a new level of pressure. Every layer is exposed and mistakes are amplified. But here's the truth. With structured practice and a beginner-friendly approach, you'll overcome these challenges quickly, and your music will thrive because of it. Technical hurdles that beginners face, breaking through the gear learning curve. Looping involves more than creativity. It demands your understanding of your own gear. Many beginners stumble over signal chains. Where does the looper go in the setup? How do you avoid feedback? What cables do you need? It feels complicated, but it's manageable with some guidance. Software looping introduces its own learning curve. DAWs and apps can be powerful, but navigating their menus, their preferences, and routing options can overwhelm people. These technical challenges often result in unreliable early performances. But the truth is, anyone who started looping, from me to Beardy Man, Ed Sheeran, and everyone in between, once faced these same hurdles. I know I did. With step-by-step setup knowledge and hands-on practice, you'll overcome them and build a rig that feels natural and second nature to you, and most of all, reliable, giving you confidence. Avoiding the loop trap, repetitiveness, keeping your loops fresh and engaging. The loop trap is real, and it can flatten your performance. Repeating the same loop endlessly without any variation quickly disengages your audience and dulls your creativity. But with awareness and technique, you can avoid it entirely. Vary your loop lengths. A short rhythmic loop paired with a longer melodic layer creates natural song movement. Dynamic layering is key, bringing parts in and out to control tension and release. Real-time effects keep your loops fresh. Add filters, reverbs, or delays to reshape parts live. The result is your loops evolve, your songs stay exciting, and your audience remains hooked from the very first note to the last. Solving timing issues from day one. Mastering loop accuracy with simple techniques. What is the biggest frustration for new loop artists? You probably know what it is. It's timing. One poorly timed loop can throw your entire performance off. But with a few simple techniques, you can master loop accuracy from day one. Start with a metronome. One on your digital audio workstation. You can get a metronome app on your phone. And practicing alongside a steady click trains your internal clock, making your loop entries and exits precise. Begin with short, simple loops. Focus on timing before complexity. In fact, most loop pedals offer a tap tempo or a rhythm section. Get to know this feature really well. It lets you sync your loops to your natural pulse, ensuring every layer lines up perfectly. And with patience and these tools, your loops will feel tight, professional, and frustration-free. The phrase I like to use is sit in your own groove. Building confidence through simplicity. Start small to conquer looping nerves. Looping success doesn't require fancy gear or complex setups. It starts with simplicity. The fastest way to build confidence is to strip your rig right down to the essentials. One instrument, one pedal, one loop. Start by repeating a basic rhythm or riff. Loop it, listen back, and then repeat. This repetitive practice trains your timing and builds your comfort with the technology. As you feel more secure, gradually add layers, harmonies, rhythms, and effects. Step by step, your looping skills will grow, and so will your confidence. Master simplicity first, and then complexity becomes easy. Your first setup, gear checklist. Everything you need to start looping today. Starting your looping journey doesn't require a mountain of gear. In fact, a simple, well thought out setup is the best way to begin. First, your instrument. Most beginners start with guitar, but looping works just as well with keyboards, a harp, trumpet, bass, even vocals if your looper accepts a mic input. Next, your loop pedal. Look for a simple, reliable model with clear controls. Something that lets you focus on playing and you're not sitting there programming all day. Finally, don't overlook the cables and the power. Invest in good cables to avoid unwanted noise. and you're going to need extra cables to plug your looper in and out anyway. Plus, ensure that the pedal is powered correctly. Some pedals come with its own adapter, and that's fine. Some pedals have the option for battery powered. Make sure you've got what's right for you. With these basics, you're ready to start building layered, dynamic music right away. How to build a simple live loop rig. Minimal setup for maximum musical impact. A simple, reliable looping rig is the foundation for success. The classic setup starts with your instrument, whatever it is, guitar, synthesizer, keyboard, piano, bass, etc. Feeding that into your loop pedal, which then connects to an amplifier or a PA system. Keeping it minimal reduces technical headaches and lets you focus on training yourself and playing. Adding a monitor or headphones can ensure that you hear the loops clearly, and that's crucial for timing and layering. Placement of your loop pedal is also key. Your loop pedal should be within easy reach of your foot, or a tabletop looper or app should be within hand's reach, so you can operate it naturally without breaking your performance flow. With this clean, straightforward rig, you'll be able to loop live with confidence and impact. Looping on a budget. Affordable options to get you started. Looping doesn't have to break the bank. There are excellent beginner-friendly loopers available at affordable prices. Pedals like the Boss RC1, or the Ditto Looper, or the Valaton VLP200. They deliver solid performance under $150, perfect for starting your journey. You can also save on accessories like cables and power supplies. While shopping around, a lot of retailers will do bundles. And finally, you could always explore the used market gear. Musicians often upgrade, leaving quality pedals, amps, and accessories available at a fraction of the retail price. With smart choices, you can start looping confidently on a beginner's budget. Recording and layering basics. Building your first loop step by step. Recording your first loop is actually easier than you think. Mastering the basics will set you up for looping success. Start with a solid foundation, a rhythm, a chord progression, or a simple beat. Maybe your looper has a rhythm section built in. This will become the anchor for everything else. Once your bass loop is recorded and playing back, and it sounds good, layer in the melodies, the bass lines, and the harmonies. Each new part adds depth and energy to your performance. Early on, just keep it simple. Prioritize the timing and clarity. Clean loops sound professional and build confidence. As your comfort grows, complexity will come naturally, and your live looping will sound seamless. Timing, sync, and tap tempo explained. Mastering the heart of looping accuracy. I've said it before on my YouTube channel, and I've said it before in different courses. Timing is everything in looping, and tools like tap tempo and quantization help you stay locked in. Tap tempo lets you set your loop's timing by tapping a steady rhythm with your foot or your hand if it's a tabletop looper. This ensures that your loop plays back in sync with your natural feel. Many loopers also offer quantization. This feature automatically adjusts your loop start and stop points to keep everything perfectly aligned. It's a powerful tool for avoiding timing drift, especially for beginners. The final ingredient? Practice. I'm sorry, but it's practice. Think of the loop pedal like its own instrument. Work slowly with a metronome and your tap tempo until your loop timing becomes second nature. If you press the distortion pedal slightly late, it doesn't really matter. But if you press the button of a loop pedal late, it's the difference between making and breaking a performance. Precision makes the difference between amateur loops and polished professional performances. First, looping exercise. Your simple, confidence-building practice routine. So, ready to build your first live loop? Start simple. Begin by recording a steady 4-beat rhythm, chord progression, or percussive hit. This becomes your anchor loop, the foundation for everything that follows. Next, layer in a simple melody, a riff or a vocal line. Please don't rush. Focus on the timing and clean playing. Listen to how the parts interact, adjusting your layers as needed. Finally, repeat that process. Practice starting and stopping your loops, adding and removing layers, and refining your timing. This exercise builds muscle memory, confidence, and the skills that form the backbone of your live looping journey. Mistakes beginners make and fixes, how to avoid common looping pitfalls. Every looping beginner hits snags. I certainly did when I started looping. In fact, I nearly gave up. But awareness is the first step to avoid frustration. Timing slips are common early on. A metronome and constant use of your pedal's tap tempo or rhythm section are your best tools for a clean and confident loop. Overcomplication is another trap. You'll want to run before you can walk, and many new loopers try to layer too much, too soon, leading to sloppy sounds and a loss of confidence. The solution? Conquer simple, clean loops first. Complexity comes naturally with experience. Finally, don't neglect your setup. Understanding your signal flow, proper cabling and pedal placement saves you from technical hiccups mid-performance. With patience, practice of course, and these fixes, your looping journey will be smooth and rewarding. Once you feel confident, your loop pedal may have effects built in and availability to use MIDI control. These are more complex features that I would only recommend to start using once you feel confident in looping and feel the need to expand. MIDI control can change things like your rhythm or turn effects on and off where you don't have a button for it. The effects can change the dynamics, adding a bass sound an octave down from your normal guitar or adding reverb for space. Consider effects and MIDI control and how you want your loops to sound, but also how you want to control them. MIDI control can save you pedal dancing. And actually with the most modern MIDI controllers, you can send more than one message when you press a button, or if you're using software, you get that tactile response from a MIDI controller controlling Loopy Pro on an iPad without the worry of misfiring or mishitting the screen. Combine vocals and instruments. Now through this, I've been talking about adding on vocals and instruments together. If you're familiar with the channel and familiar with how I loop, I don't actually play the bass line. I sing the bass line with an effect. I find it easier for me, and some songs I haven't even used an instrument for, I've just gone with vocals, aka a cappella. Think about how you would use a loop pedal and break it down. Are all the instruments going onto one loop and all the vocals going onto another? Are you separating the instruments across your loops? All of these things are to consider, but there's no right or wrong answer. Some loop artists will have dedicated loops for specific things. Other loop artists might beatbox the drums but spread it across 4 or 5 loops. And then only when all loops are playing, the whole drum kit comes back. Recording a loop-based song. When looking at recording a loop-based song, if you're looking to record your loops, you'll then want to start thinking about how your loops are structured, but also thinking about the outputs and where things are going. With big loop stations like the RC600, RC505 Mark II, Loopy Pro with a multi-track audio interface, and the Sheeran Looper X, they all will have multiple outs. So you could send the vocal out on channel 1, and you could send the guitar out on channel 2. You could send the loops out to channel 3 and 4 of the outputs. Again, more of an advanced feature, but even on basic loopers with a stereo out, some loopers will let you route the vocals and the instruments one way and the loops the other way. If you're recording into a digital audio workstation, this is something you might want to consider. Our beginner's approach to looping, a step-by-step system for success. Learning to loop doesn't have to be intimidating or chaotic. Our beginner's approach provides a clear, structured system that builds confidence one step at a time. You'll follow a progressive learning path, starting with the absolute basics, and layering on complexity only when you're ready. Each lesson includes hands-on practice to cement your skills. But most importantly, this isn't theory for theory's sake. You'll apply your new looping skills directly to songwriting, practice routines, and of course, live performances. By the end, you'll be confident, capable, and ready to take your looping onto the stage. So how you can learn more is through our course called How to Loop Like a Pro. I designed this course originally as 2 separate courses, but as time has gone on, it's made clear to me that they need to be together. We start by thinking about what looping actually is, where it came from, and what you should consider live looping. Next, we look at timing, getting the timing right for every loop. We look at choosing what kind of looper you want, plugging in, and what you can gain from both looping and live looping. We look at setups, both live and live streaming. We look at single phrase looping, starting off with a perfect loop, how to use it, and how to overdub. We look at multi-phrase looping with 2 loops or more, what the advantages are, and what you can really accomplish with one. As part of the course, we have song deconstruction. I perform one of my songs and then deconstruct it right in front of you, showing you its pieces, how I built it up, but also how I turned that into a performance. We talk about mistakes, erasing a loop, playing the wrong thing, played a bad note into the looper. Mistakes can happen, and in that chapter, we go over how you can recover them. Sometimes you can recover without the audience even knowing. We have tips and tricks from my experience of gigging hundreds, actually if not thousands, of gigs, looping live as well as live streaming. And the bonus information is we talk about looping and earning money from performance gigs, as well as selling your music both online and in person. Now, because you've been on this training, How to Loop Like a Pro is normally $48. But today, you're going to get Loop Like a Pro for just $39, making it cheaper than any basic loop pedal and giving you hours worth of content. After years of practice and a lot of trial and error, including deleting loops on stage, messing up shows and more, I figured out a way to get a looper to work really well for my shows, and now you can too. And guess what the number one thing I've learned throughout this entire journey is? You don't need the latest looper. You don't need expensive pedals. Once you understand the fundamental laws of looping, you can apply that to any loop pedal or app, and the sky is the limit. And that's what inspired me to write, film, and launch How to Loop Like a Pro, and create the world's most affordable online looping course for helping aspiring musicians quickly develop the skills required to use loopers, looping apps, and loop pedals to make professional sounding music no matter what gear you have. There is a link underneath this video which will take you to the checkout of How to Loop Like a Pro, which is pre-discounted at the price of just $39. You won't find this link anywhere else, and this link is not on my website. If you're interested in learning more from me through the course, click the link and I hope to see you there. Let's start building your sound one loop at a time.